Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore qualifiers for Korea and Taiwanese regions. This is stage number 2. Stage 1.1 and 1.2 have already concluded, having 8 players advance on to play against the current 8 players that were already seeded into stage 2. And we kick things off with not the initial match that we were expecting. We were wanting Dia versus Hydra. But we have been given Maru versus Zest, which is also pretty darn good.
Yeah, Dia was nowhere to be found, so that was the reason why we're not having him. But Maru versus Zest is still pretty good.
Yeah.
Maru's, of course, another player that will be playing at BlizzCon next week. One of the best Terrans out there right now, and this should be a good one.
Yeah, certainly should be. Now, we have a double elimination bracket here today, and we basically have 2 players advancing on from today to Singapore to join the already 4 players that have qualified from Europe, being Grubby and Happy, and then from America being Hook and Scarlet. But without further ado, we can actually jump into our first game, and noticeably, we see that, unfortunately, I don't have the right overlay on. So I'll change this after this first game. Oh, I'm so sorry. But yeah, we can sort that after this game here. So spawning down in the bottom left-hand corner as our yellow Terran, he is Maru Prime. And spawning up to the top right, we have our pink Protoss. He is Katie Rolsters Zest. Lag. Great way to start things off.
I don't have lag.
No, you're fine?
Nope, I'm fine.
Oh, hey.
I got lag now.
Uh-oh. Yeah, so did I.
So, some good morning StarCraft. Very early morning. And it's always the early morning StarCraft which displays the high-level Koreans, and that's what we've got here again.
Yeah,
and, this has to be Maru's, this series. It's a best of 3, and I'd be very surprised if he wasn't able to win it.
But that being said, you know, Zest, we saw him during the Intel Extreme Masters New York qualifiers defeat Innovation, of all people.
Yeah.
So that's quite an impressive result from him. And I can't remember which Terran he was able to beat yesterday. But there was a lot of Zergs in his path as well.
He beat Pig Baby, the Protoss, beat Journey. I don't know who Journey is.
Journey.
Beat True, and then lost to Hydra in the final. And that was Cup 1. So he played in 2 cups then, right?
Yes, he did.
And then the other cup, he beat Journey again.
Oh.
So he beat the same player twice.
Poor guy. Oh, well. Yeah, Zest's pretty good in this matchup. We saw that during the previous qualifier. But then again, this is Maru. This is the WCS champion from Season 2. So anything can really happen from Maru's side of things. He beat Rain 4-2, right, in the final?
Yeah, 4-2. 4-2. Look at this. He's actually decided to open up Command Center first. I imagine that in Korea, there's not too many super aggressive builds from Protoss players straight away, because obviously super aggressive builds can be defended with 1 barracks command center, like Proxy Oracle, Blink play, DT play. So he's saying that, yeah, the likelihood of you opening up super aggressive in game number 1 is probably really low, which it is, as we can see with just 1 gas taken from Zest. And so he's decided to open up command center first. He doesn't know that he's safe yet, because he hasn't scouted. But he is completely safe, and Zest actually had to rush his Nexus down, cut his Cybernetics core out, just so he could actually kind of keep up the pace of Maru.
Yeah, and in a similar vein, I mean, Zest was a little bit more thorough about his scouting around his main, at least. Sorry, his natural, just to make sure that his opponent wasn't doing anything too aggressive either. So Zest seemed to always have been on the a bit more of a defensive posture, more so than anything. And you know, it's going to work out for him in the end. You know, the Nexus is going to be in a timely fashion, but you know, Maru just gets away with having that command center first. So.
Yep. So he's got double barracks behind this. He'll want to throw down a 3rd barracks usually, and then also double gases very, very soon. Some players do like to just keep on 2 barracks, but to be honest, because he hasn't scouted, if there was some kind of play, he does want to get the Marines out faster and higher amount of them as well, to be able to protect his natural with getting them in the bunker, and also protect his main if there was something aggressive coming. And he's now going to move across to the map for the first time, and is going to see the Nexus. So as soon as he sees that Nexus, it's like, all right, cool, that's kind of a faster Nexus than usual. I shouldn't be up against anything too aggressive. And now he'll go in the main base to have a look at the gases to kind of see what... Well, okay, he didn't get to see the second one, but... He didn't see the pylons either, but this is fine. I mean, he knows that the Nexus has been rushed out a little bit earlier, so he shouldn't be expecting any form of super early aggression.
Yeah, you're right. He knows that the Cybernetics core from there is slightly delayed after having just that gateway initially going down. So Tech Lab goes down for Maru. A little probe hand up to the top left.
Zest is chrono boosting into the Cyber Core quite a lot. He's thrown 3 in there already.
And this probe up to the top, he could actually throw down a pylon and extra gateways here to try and punish Maru.
Absolutely. I mean, he got the faster Nexus, sure, but it doesn't mean that he can't put an attack out afterwards, and he's going to throw down the gateway. So he's going to try and attack here. 4 gateways in total by the looks of it. 5 gateways in total. Wow, okay. So the one thing that Maru really needs to do in this game is first of all build a bunker. He doesn't have that. That's kind of greedy from him. The second of all, that SCV on the 3rd base, that's there to scout the natural soon. If he picks up some information, if he goes very soon, then he might be able to get away with this. But at the moment, he's in danger.
And there is 1 sentry at the top of the ramp here for Zest. If he shows any more than that, then maybe Maru might read into that if he goes for the scout right now. But there is already a pylon going down near Maru's base, so he has to be very careful about this. He sends a few Marines out, and he's getting the bunker.
Yeah, but Maru's sending Marines into the main base. He doesn't know if they'll follow up. It still can be a proxy, or not proxy oracle, but it still could be an oracle inside the main base of Zest. And so he's had to split his Marines up here. If he splits his Marines up, obviously the defense on the natural is going to be a lot weaker. And if he gets force-fielded on the ramp, then he's going to have to evacuate the natural. And absolutely, Zest can go ahead and chrono boost into probes after this and catch back up into the game. He already has a Forge on the way. This is a little bit scary here for Maru.
Yeah, and the Stalker the whole time has denied any scouting through the middle of the map. So these 2 sentries, as well as the Mothership Core, are moving across completely undetected right now. Maru is even throwing down a missile turret. He doesn't really know anything that's going on from his opponent. And Zest is about to hit with a pretty strong army.
Maru is just playing so defensive across everything, but is not defensive for the thing that's coming. A turret doesn't help here. I think he could be in trouble. That's a lot. Oh my god, that's a lot of sentries. I really think he's in trouble here. Stim is done in about 40 seconds time. The unit's still in the main base, but
60 Marines are out, but will that actually be enough? The Zealots go to work on the bunker. That's going to fall very fast. Nice force fields as well have sealed all those SCVs off. Zest continues to move on forwards. The missile turret did help in the end to kill off the Mothership Core, but those double time warps are being a real nuisance.
Stim is 15 seconds away. Oh, that's nice.
Very nice force field. We'll see a lot of those SCVs in with him now, and even throwing down just a few more haphazardly, but Zest has already done a lot of damage.
Yeah, he's done so much damage here. He could even stop pro production and catch back up into the game. But from this point, he can keep force field in that ramp. He's forced the lift off. The SCVs are trapped. It's a beautiful move by Zest, and Maru too greedy, or can you say greedy, or just lack of scouting? It's a bit of both.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, that SCV at the 3rd base hasn't been used yet, so Maru hasn't really getting himself any information whatsoever. An extra wave of Zealots coming in as well. These Marines, as well as Marauders, aren't going to have the easiest time dealing with this force because it just packs so much punch.
Well, there are 2 Widow Mines here, so we will be able to, start to make a line of defense, especially now Stim and Medivacs are out. But how much damage can he do here? There's not that many units. What is it, like 4 Marauders and a couple of Marines?
Yeah, and he's lost 18 workers during all of this. So he's down from 38 against 26 with Zest in the lead. So killing these tech labs off as well, denying Marauder production, only allowing his opponent to have Marines at this point against this. It's going to be tough. He pulls all the SDVs off. He knows he's in trouble.
Yeah, and a couple of forces come down here just to try and split the units up. Didn't really do that well, actually, with this force fields. And a lot of the sentries are going to get picked off here. That's a good pick off there.
Oh, Zealots walk in once again. Extra Mothership Core reinforces as after replenishing that. And well, Zest's going to just back up. He started pro production again and throwing down cannons. So he knows that, maybe the time to do a crippling, devastating damage has passed. These probes are actually moved out because the rally for the Mothership Core was over here.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a mistake there. But I mean, there is a defense put down here on the main ramp. The Widow Mines are eventually going to make a line of defense because there is no observer. The Forge was put down earlier on in case there was some kind of Widow Mine drop, so he had the cannons as backup here. But the position that Zest has put himself in, even though he hasn't straight out won the game, he's got double the economy of his opponent. The only thing that he's missing is tech, because his opponent does have +1. Maru does have Medivacs, he's got Widow Mine. So right now, the army is definitely stronger for Maru, but the longer the game goes on with the economy that Zest has, he's going to be able to catch back up. He's got the Twilight Council coming down. He's probably just going to go for Blink here or Zealot Charge. It doesn't really matter which one he goes for. And then with the armor as well, he's catching up quite fast in this game.
Yeah, it's a very good setup that we're seeing from Zest right now, and just in general in this first game, taking the initiative like this against Maru, who is generally the aggressor, is fantastic here for Zest. He's put himself in such a good spot, and now, I mean, from here, what does Zest do in terms of a mistake to let Maru back in? Just allows the drops to do some damage, because Zest he looks set up so nicely.
Yeah, just doesn't want to take damage before he's ready. So he'll be ready to fight again once Zealot Charge is done. And that's when he's going to be strong with that +1 armor too. So in the next 30 seconds or so, if he takes some damage, then absolutely Maru can get back into the game. He's got mules. He can recover with SCVs. But I don't think he's going to let that happen. He's got the Mothership Core. It has a Photon Overcharge. He's got a lot of units here as well.
And does not see a third base, so he's going to try and walk up this ramp. But that's kind of scary because Guardian Shield as well as all of those Zealots. That's a lot of power.
Behind that, remember, as well, there's still no robotics facility, so...
Ooh, picks up a lot of those units, going to try and go into the main, and has been spotted. So not really sure that's going to do too much here against those Zealots, especially with Zealot Charge just about to finish.
Oh, the Widow Mines.
Ooh, catches a few of those Zealots in the end.
Yeah, he really needs that Observer out. He's actually, oh, he picks off all the Widow Mines. That's really nice, actually. That was a headache the Widow Mines were causing there.
Yeah, and just losing those like that, it really didn't have to happen, but oh well. Pylon does go down at those 4 gateways, but they are still powered. This is a little bit of nice harassment, though, by Maru, just finding small amounts of damage that he can do here and there. Killing off a few gateways, not too bad, but again, Zest has the economy behind it to easily replenish this.
Yeah, but it's starting to catch back up here. I mean, 35 SCVs to 46 probes. Sure that we do still see Zest in a leading position when it comes to that economy, but Maru's done quite a bit with the small amount of units that he has here. He's found a great position on the left-hand side to pick off these gateways. He's picked off 2 already and can continue to do so. But we do have 3 extra gateways, and Immortal being brought out as well. I mean, Maru's done really well with what he was, put into, but these DTs, man. In the natural right now, there's the turret was picked off, remember?
Oh dear.
This is actually it's starting to look kind of good for Maru. He's starting to get back into this game, but these DTs are just going to cause so much damage.
Yeah, he's got a scan in the main base, so he does actually throw that down, but he's separated up the DTs nicely, has Zest, so that the scan is not nearly going to be as effective. And now, I mean, all of the SCVs had to evacuate to the main, but there's still Dark Templars being annoying. There is a drop in the main, though, for Maru, trying to do some damage where he can, and actually not doing too badly. But again, the Gateway Force will always push him back.
Yeah, and there's DTs defensively as well. The Immortal and the Natural could get picked off here. He's got to be careful about that. It's kind of expensive. That's a little bit of a shame there.
Oh well, and Maru is, as you rightly said, he's doing a lot with what he's currently got, considering he didn't have that too much in essence. And, Zest's actually being run left and right, and he's going to lose his natural. Yeah,
but look at the amount of damage that these... well, actually, is he going to lose that? Oosh.
God. No, oh my God.
But look at the amount of damage these DTs have done. I mean, remarkable amounts. He's not even mining from his natural.
There's no way he can leave that natural alive, though, right?
Yeah.
He has to come and kill that somehow.
Well, the shields are going to regenerate on it.
Yeah.
And DT's just causing so much havoc inside both of these bases.
What a scrappy game for game number 1. I was kind of surprised by this, actually.
I think we'll see an attack soon from Zest. 2 Archons in the mix now. He's still got like 900 minerals in the bank, 9 extra Zealots. An attack here, I don't think really can be followed up. Yeah. I don't think he can defend an attack. Sure, I think that Zest will probably just leave a couple of units home. He's got Stalkers inside the main base to get these drops, and as long as he doesn't take any more damage from these, he can go and attack and maybe win the game. He has a pylon on the other side of the map, so he has a place to go to. And nope, that didn't get the Nexus either here.
Yeah, poor Maru. He's trying desperately to get it, but unfortunately, no cigar for him. And there you go. GG, guys, for game number 1. Zest will take the first game.
Yeah, that really gateway attack set him up to win the game, really.
Yeah.
It was always going to be, can Morris somehow find a way back into it? And he was looking to do so. But DT's really just put the nail in the coffin there. That was good. That was good. But I really think that coming into this next game, because it is still a best of 3, Maru won't play as he did, or at least will play a little bit safer.
Yeah.
He didn't... First of all, the things that he missed up on that put him in that bad position. No bunker, first of all, straight away. That was always going to be risky. Even though it wasn't an impactful point in that game, it definitely could be the next one, so that'll be faster. SCV will scout faster, and we'll probably see a scan inside the main base. These 3 things will always, or at least one of them out of the 3, will be able to protect you against what's coming.
Certainly so. Right now, we have started the second game. Apparently, our interface has vanished into thin air and is not on this PC anymore. So after this series, we will get that interface sorted. But now Belshir Vestige is going to be our second map here between Maru and Zest. And I'd be surprised if Maru actually lost this first series. Not hugely, because Zest's pretty good in the matchup, but just Maru in general. he has to be the favorite here after what he's done as of late.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a favorite to do really well at BlizzCon. So if you can't get past Zest here, then where is he really going to be going?
All right. Well, I got dropped. So
it's time for me to observe.
It might be time for you to observe, unless they regame, and it doesn't look like they're regaming.
No.
All right, man. It's all on you.
I'm ready.
Yeah? Okay. Let's jump into game number 2, guys, as we find out exactly what's going on. We might not have sound as well for this game, depending on how well your sound has been set up previously.
I hear sound.
You can hear sound?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I'm really good at observing.
Okay.
I've over the last 12 months, I've really been getting better.
do me a favor. Press Control and X.
What's that do?
It switches around the... there we
Okay.
go.
I
Perfect.
didn't know that. That's not part
Perfecto.
of observing. Ooh, look at this. It's nearly SCV.
Oh, hello.
I'm going to see some proxy barracks action here.
You might not be observing for long, Sean.
Look at that. 2 SCVs are going to go proxy some stuff.
All right. Well, that's... I'm not surprised, but at the same time, we saw Zest in game number 1 try and scout out for something like that. So if he does again, he might be able to spot this pretty early.
We'll see. He's got a 13 gateway and a probe after the gateway. Look how smooth I am.
Sick. Boop. Oh, see? See what I mean? See what I mean? He knows. He
God.
knows about Maru.
Well, that's embarrassing and also pretty bad.
Yeah, that's not very good here for poor little Maru. How old is Zest? Do we know?
Like 22, I think.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think.
I thought maybe he was one of the younger ilk, but...
Well, the double barracks is still there, and the Chronoboost should be saved up now, and then he's just going to be able to... Well, he knows it's there, so it's like a lot, if not infinitely, easier to defend once you know it's there. You know what to do. You know that you don't need double gases. You can cut a lot of corners. You're going to have a hard time, I think, Maru, pulling this off. And like you said, he's currently losing this series, so he could actually lose to Zest.
Yeah, he could, which, again, is a little bit of a surprise. It is double elimination bracket, though, so we can't really discount that. The fact that Maru still will have a shot. But to be honest, the lineup of players that we have in this tournament is phenomenal.
Yeah, the Koreans love attending, IEM Shanghai, now IEM Singapore. They want to go. They want to go.
Yeah, it's a crazy lineup of players, man.
I don't know how he's going to do this. This is really difficult. I mean, the Mothership Core can start to come out soon. He can start to bank energy. He can get a Stalker behind that as well. So as you see the Cybernetics Core, I think he really wants to get a Mothership Core straight away. And then the Stalker behind it. This becomes very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, it really does. He's going to have Zest having scouted this out so early. It's fantastic for him. And again, it comes at the sacrifice of what? Maybe a little less quicker scout or a little less mining time that he would have on one pro. But it's so worth it because now he's so in the know and he's dealing with it great.
Well, look at Maru here. He actually doesn't want to try and go for the kill as what you'd usually do with the 2 barracks. He's going to try and just keep the natural from going down for as long as possible. And he's probably just going to expand in a minute. Maybe with this SCV that's going back.
It's actually a really cool compensatory move that we're seeing from him. Although, whoa, he is getting a bit aggressive now. Trying to move up into this natural. Probes will end up dying off 1 or 2.
There's no way he can build a bunker up here. Just the second Stalker's on its way, the Mothership Core's here. The best he can hope for is just keep the natural away for as long as possible.
But even still, how many SCVs does he have out there now? Just 1?
Yeah.
That will, and it's not even that healthy either, so that will die pretty quickly, and no repair on that bunker is going to make it even harder for him to actually hold on to this, with Zest, who is so well prepared.
So right now, we're really going to have to see some genius play come up from Maru to try and get back into this properly. He's going to try and keep this away for as long as possible, the natural nexus, but he's got his command center on the way. Barracks being floated home, 1's being kept.
Huh.
And that's going to be for a scout. He's going to go see if he's getting 4-gated or something, or Twilight Council down, something along those lines.
Yeah, it's quite a smart move here by Maru. He knows he can't get in via the ground, so may as well leave one of your barracks there to actually do that. And SCV dives back into the bunker, desperate to stay alive. But Zest will eventually break out of this. He'll have the forces necessary, and then from that point on, what would be the best course of action here for Zest, do you think?
I think he just has to expand as soon as he kills this. Because if he tries to go for an attack, it's so expected. Like, it's so obvious that it's so likely that he attacks here. And I really think that Maru's going to know that. So Maru's going to, as soon as this command center's done, I really expect him to put like 1 or 2 bunkers down on the natural just straight away. He's seen 3 gateways as well, so he knows the potential of an attack is definitely there too. Zest really just has to expand from this point.
And, for Zest, I won't mind that. Whoa, Robo facility. Wasn't really expecting that. Maybe he doesn't feel that he can secure this natural as quickly as he would like to. Oh, hello.
3 Stalkers run by, and that's that's really smart actually. Because right now, I think that if this command center it was down here without these 3 Stalkers, the bunkers would have gotten up, and there was nothing he could really do. But with 3 Stalkers out here, the bunker has to be inside the main base.
Yeah, it forces a slowdown on anything Maru wants to do back at home. That's
he could get a warp prism.
And just go straight for the main.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of ways to do this here. You can get an Immortal and just bust down the bunker. Or you could get a warp prism, go for the main.
Well, he's still going to start working on this bunker. Could have micro back that Zealot, try and save it a little bit, but it doesn't really matter here at this point as he will kill off. Oh, he gets a sentry. That's a good pickup.
Yeah, expansion is down now, and I think Zest is saying, all right, well, you're going to have a hard time expanding here, and I'm just going to put my Nexus in place.
Good old Nexus. Zest likes him. And, well, he also likes aggression from time to time. So we actually only have the Observer on the way. So he's just going to keep an eye on what his opponent's doing. Nice focus fire to kill off the Marauder initially. And double bunker here from Maru. A big signification that he's like saying, I really, really don't want to die right now. Very, very important.
Considering that he did 2 barracks, this is a pretty good recovery from him. Actually, quite surprised in this recovery. And being able to deal with those Stalkers as well. This is good. I mean, if you look at the SCV count, it's 26 to 28. He's got the faster command center to the faster Nexus here.
Yeah. It's like
pretty good.
He never really overextended. He identified early enough that it wasn't going to work. And that's the sign of a true champion, you know? Just being able to say, all right, got to kind of consolidate my losses and go for something else. So good play by Maru, you're right.
Yeah, it is good play. And now he's got the time to get a tech lab and a Rector on. He's got the engineering bay on the way. He's got this SCV to try and scout out. Looks like he's actually looking around with a Marine too in case there's a pylon or something. This SCV, in case it was a fast third, that we're going to catch him off guard because he doesn't really, have anything to go and attack for the next couple of minutes until Stim and Medivacs are out on the way.
I guess he might send the SCV in a little bit earlier in comparison to what he did in Game 2 as well to see if there was anything aggressive going on at the front.
He's going to check the unit count.
Yeah.
And just be like, all right, what kind of units do you have at this point? So 2 sentries, 2 stalkers, 2 zealots. I don't think he kind of caught the gas there.
After seeing, because he killed a sentry at the beginning, right? And then he actually added on a second sentry again. So maybe he's a little bit wary as to why there was an extra sentry added on.
Yeah, I think he's realized that this is just going to be a normal game from this point. I mean, if this was going to be an attack, Zest would have already not had his units here. They would have been on the other side of the map already. Yeah, they're back defensively. He saw a gas been added on, which means his opponents continued to tech up. So I'm pretty sure Maru's just expecting a normal game from this point. 62 to Spy 61, kind of equal. Not bad. It's an interesting one, this.
Well, I'm liking the state of both players' tech as well. I mean, the starport goes down at a pretty reasonable time to deal with any kind of Colossi tech that will come along since the Robo Bay has just finished up. Colossi are in production now, but from that point on, you're right. This is impressive by Maru, having equalized things up pretty nicely, and now just normalizing out. I'm expecting, because if we saw what happened in Game 1 happen on equal footing with Maru stretching his opponent each way and the main dropping very nicely, pressuring the natural as well, Maru, if he'd have been at equal footing, could have easily won that game. But
yes, he could have. Yes, he could have. Yeah, it's kind of just regular setup here. I mean, Blink's on its way, +1 attacks now on its way after armor's done. It's not going to take too much damage here. Blink's kind of good. It's going to help him against the drops, what Maru really used last game really well. Because the Medivacs should be on their way.
Yeah.
There they are.
I like that difference. I like that change-up because, Charge is not going to be as effective in dealing with it, although he does see his first Colossus, so has to get right on out of there.
And he'll start Viking production immediately now as well. That'll be the next thing he does with the starport. I can't imagine him going up to 6 Medivacs here.
Yeah, it will be a little bit tricky. Well, adding on those extra barracks as well. Were those 2 barracks before the 3rd command center, or has he got a 3rd?
Oh, he has not got a 3rd yet.
Okay. So plenty of production here available to Maru, as he... I just think in general he's one of those Terrans that doesn't mind going for the trades as long as he's trying to just draw his opponent each way.
Look at these observers.
Very nicely placed.
Nice line of observers. A good scout on the 3rd to see if the command center was there yet. He sees it isn't, so he's going to play more defensive. And because of the observers, he spots the drop really early. Oh, he doesn't want to take damage on the natural, though.
Whoop,
Throwing overcharge has been activated.
Yeah, losing a pylon. Looks like Maru's going for guaranteed damage there. Realized he couldn't do much more than that. And a pylon's not too bad a pickup.
Yeah, a Zest here, all you got to do is not take damage. You don't need to expand. You don't need to continue to build probes. You're good. You've got 54. You sit back. You make sure you don't take damage. And then you expand once you realize that basically you wait for your opponent to be like, I can't get to him.
Sean,
let me expand.
I'm really surprised, though, that he hasn't got any Vikings. He's going up to 8 medevacs instead of any Viking production.
Yeah, that is a lot of medevacs.
Can he actually make this work against 4 Colossi that are going to be out? Okay, so he's got 3. Did he produce a 4th?
No.
No. Okay.
3. Yeah, that's an interesting point. For me, as a Terran player, I'm like, well, I kind of need my Vikings.
Yeah. Ooh, nice seal in.
It's really going to come down to control. I mean, where does he drop? How much does he drop? Where are the units? He's going to be good in heads-up fights because obviously he's got a lot more healing. Good at big drops like this. Yeah, but yeah, he is missing Vikings.
I guess this
is starting them now.
Is this Maru saying, I'm so confident in my drop play that I'm going to be able to contain you for long enough to make sure that you don't hit my front with these Colossi?
Well, this is a really good defense so far. I mean, like, Maru's really trying hard to find some way in. Natural main. But to be honest, you should never, against a good Protoss player, be able to break them when they're still on 2 bases, which is happening in this game. It's not possible. He's expanded now, and he is going up to his Vikings with the 2nd starport. But the threat is, imagine if, sure, we can look at it and be like, all right, so what happens if Zest attacks and with 3 Colossus, you don't have any Vikings? Well, then Maru says, all right, well, how are you going to deal with it if I drop you, if you push out? So the immediate threat isn't there. It just means that he can't be the one looking for straight-up fights yet. Not yet, but he can soon, as he has 4 Vikings on the way now.
Yeah, that influx of Viking production now is just helping out a lot more. And unfortunately for Zest, his window of damage potential is slowly diminishing. And whoa, Maru, I mean, behind this, he's been macroing up like a beast. His bio army is so strong. Once these Vikings come along with it, I don't know how Zest can take up the straight-up fight.
Yeah. I mean, he's got to get to Storm. He's adding on a couple of Immortals here, which is interesting. I've played against a couple of players who like to throw in Immortals. It is rather annoying, actually. They deal so much damage out against this heavy Marauder count. Look at that.
How many does it... just press U and see. Okay.
27. That's a lot of Marauders.
Yeah, that is a heavy Marauder count.
It's like a 50-50 ratio, which obviously a lot more gas is spent on it. It's a lot heavier in army. Storm not as strong against a bunch of Marauders, but Immortals are very good. And I like that he's identified that.
Yeah. It's
like he can see, he's like, well, that's a lot of...
It's a lot of Marauders. Well, yeah, you're right. It's certainly going to pack a punch from Zest's point of view, but Maru's going to max out, and now Maru is going to look for fights.
He hasn't got a Ghost Academy, so, I mean, a lot of Zealots, Archons, and Immortals just, it's really good against what's there. But
what's his Viking count at?
Like 10?
10. Wow, okay. His army is damn strong. Really strong here in game number 2.
16 SCVs in there too.
Huh.
No Storm, remember.
Yeah, Zest has to be very careful about how he takes this engagement. The army, though, for Maru is very clumped up here. Blinks to try and position himself against these Vikings, but the Vikings have already killed off the majority of the Colossi. Only 1 remains, and the bio continues to just power on forwards.
Need more Zealots, otherwise he's going to lose this fight.
Yeah, there's just not that much firepower. He really needs the firepower here, whilst Maru, I mean, look, he's forced him to pull off the probes as well. Admittedly, there were a lot of SCVs in the fight, but the reinforcements from the left-hand side, focusing down the Immortals and killing those off 1 by 1. Maru has actually just run over the majority of what Zest has.
Yeah, he's been able to hold on for now, as there's not that many units left, but there's a lot of healing here, as mentioned earlier. What's that? High tempo. Okay, Archons is nice against this, and he just needs as many Zealots as possible. He lost a lot of probes there. It is kind of equal, though, because remember there were 16 SCVs in that. He survives for now, and that's a good hold. With the Immortal being brought back in now as well. Can he keep this up? There's only like 7 or 8 Moras. That's not a lot. And they're not going to bring down these Immortals and Archons very fast either.
Yeah, well, he stims back and makes sure that he can kill off 1 Archon with the kiting. But aside from that, Zest can continue to build a little bit of an army. But again, with 41 probes against 41 SCVs, the mules are still in there as well, right? So Maru, with his reinforcements, as long as he's rallying across here and picking off the expensive units like the Immortal once again, should be okay.
He's just got to have really good micro here with his units. Because Zest is hurting. He needs a lot of Zealots in this.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have enough money at the moment.
And Maru knows to just keep trading, keep poking, keep prodding. And it's working out for a little bit there, though. Blink forwards.
Yeah, that's a lot of heal. That's a lot of medevac for these units.
Each Marauder has its own personal medevac.
Oh, this is a nice move. Especially because he's so confined with small amounts of units. He doesn't really have a lot. This is a nice drop.
Oh, yeah. And now, I mean, Zest's army just in general isn't even that mobile. He doesn't really have that many Stalkers here. It's all in Zealots and Archons. So just kind of bringing him to this right-hand side. And if he wants to get out, boost away, and go to the third again, this could really, really hurt Zest.
Yep, and there's a stem of a couple of these units. So you already kind of expects this. And he is moving into position. No photon overcharge yet. And he's...
Oh, hello. Where are you going? Well, he loses one medevac there.
Good play by Zest. He's holding on. He is holding on.
A very, very resilient
He's got 2-2
indeed.
versus 1-1. You know, he's got better upgrades here. And he is chasing these units back.
Wow.
He's starting to do this.
I'm amazed that he's actually been able to hold on for this long. But Maru's macro is still getting going behind this.
I think, how many Vikings are there? 2. I'm not sure if you should start another Colossus or not at this point. I definitely think you should go over for another upgrade. Probably plus 3 armor, to be honest. The amount of Zealots and Archons he's got here.
Did he ever research Storm?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
That's the one thing I was thinking. Like, yes, he has a load of Archons, but the immediate splash damage of, you know, Colossi and Storm not being there is eventually going to hurt him. And can he squeeze that into his build here whilst we still see Maru macroing up nicely and looking to pressure again? Look at his army.
Yeah, there's no time to get an upgrade right now. You just have to get as many units as possible. Another attack's coming in.
Can Archons and Stalkers properly positioned shut this down?
I think they can, though.
Yeah?
I think they can. I mean, there's a lot of units here, and he doesn't really have any splash damage. That's the biggest concern. +2 attack is now done as well.
The kiting's always going to be brutal, though, right? He doesn't have sentries, he doesn't have time warp, so you can just kite this for a very, very long time and do a lot of damage to it.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's still the medevacs. There's so much energy on those as well. If you had a few high Templars maybe for feedbacks, but you're going to have a lot of feedbacks in the army to really shut this down.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. And as you said, the kiting's the most important part here. He can't get close.
Yeah.
I mean, Zealots are great against this, but they can't get close. Storm is on its way, so that is going to help out a lot. The Observer sees this army, knows exactly what's going on, the lifts, the movement, sees these 2 medevacs going to the left, so he knows what's going on. If he was to be able to feedback those 2, they're quite high, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're quite high. 2 feedbacks. There they are.
Uh-oh.
This could be really nice. If he's able to like feedback those and get to Storm, maybe there's still a chance here for Zest, but Maru's playing this really nicely.
Oh, feedbacks, he's there.
Yeah, he's waiting. Perfect.
Oh, Zest, you're playing this so well despite
He's almost
being
at Storm as well.
position.
He's almost at Storm, seconds away. He's there, he's got it.
The High Templars are alive, and there's no ghosts here to actually deal with those. This is... Oh, wow. Zest. That was a nice poke forwards, though, by Maru. Just bringing a small section forwards to try and bait out some Storms as well as kill off those High Templars.
Yeah, but he's mining from a 4th, and he's got the Ghost Academies. He's got the Ghosts on the way now. There has to be a 4th Nexus soon by Zest. Look at the supply difference. He's still behind. He really needs a 4th because he's run out in the main. He is running dry on the natural too. And it looks like, oh no, they're Zealots. So they're going to harass, but unfortunately not against a planetary, they're not.
No, that planetary, pretty solid. Maru's going to poke forwards once again here. And can he get some Storms out? Those Storms are actually right on the money, doing a lot of damage to those Marauders. Archons need to do a lot here, though, as that Bioforce will move forward, absolutely disintegrating those Archons. These Zealots, can they do enough? There's not that many Storms left over. The last one did end up whiffing a little bit. And the medevacs, there's just still too many medevacs.
Yeah, that's a lot of healing. Oh, Colossus, hello.
Hi, Colossus, but I don't know if he's going to help out that well.
Yeah, Stalkers are going to melt, and then the Colossus is going to get picked off here. Whew! It's been a good game, this one. It's been a really good game. Colossus gets picked off, and it looks like it could be coming to the end here. The Zealots do get to the 3rd base, but, I mean, Reinforcements will pick those off.
There we go.
Whew. Observant to the max there.
That was impressive by Zest. As much as Maru won that game, the resilience of Zest kept going, where I didn't think it was going to.
Yeah.
So... there you go, game number 2, 1-1 apiece.
Yeah, that's good. And I like when best of 3s go to the 3rd game, because we start to really see the 2 players develop against each other and adapt to each other. So this 3rd game should be a good one. Not too sure which map it's going to be, but that will tell us a lot. But that started from a proxy 2-backs, which was scouted early on, and he dealt with it really well in terms of, like, this is not going to work, it's not going to kill him, but what can I do to extract the most amount of value from it? And he really did do that smartly. Whew, that was... Zest almost did that. He almost did that there.
Yeah.
That's good.
Very cool game number 2. It's early here. That was a little bit of a wake-up call for me.
Yeah.
As Zest was able to hold on quite superbly. But again, this is... this is the difference, right? Sometimes when we're casting the Korean qualifiers compared to other qualifiers, maybe like Europe and NA isn't, you know, the highest of skill levels, but then you come to the these players like Maru and stuff, and you see these crazy wild games that can go on for a little bit longer than you were ever expecting.
That's the difference. I think one of the biggest differences between high-level Korean and others is that a lot of attacks and plays happen, but they usually just end the game.
Yeah.
But Koreans, they find a way to survive and carry on playing because they've experienced these kind of... The thing is, like, imagine Maru, who has probably had that proxy rack scouted many a time on the ladder. He's like, all right, it's not going to work. This is what I do.
Yep.
And you already know the response and what you're meant to do. Likewise from Zest, who already knows what he's doing, and therefore you just have longer drawn-out games because they both know how to deal with the scenarios that they're placed up against.
All right, well, game number 3 on the way. Whirlwind will be our map to find out who is going to advance onto the second round in the upper bracket. And Whirlwind is actually soon to be removed from ladder play.
Yeah, we're not going to see this map for too much longer. But if player tendencies are true, then Maru should be going for command center first here. And does Zest do something to punish that? I think, who was it that did it? Was it Dia? Yeah, Dia was going for a lot of 10 gateways for the Zealot Stalker Mothership Core to punish command center first plays. He even did it against Maru at the Season 3 finals.
Yeah.
That's how he beat him, actually.
All right, well, spawning up to the top left-hand corner, we have our pink Protoss, Mr. Zest from KT Rolster. And up to the top right, we have our blue Terran, Maru from Team Prime.
I wonder if Zest does that. Because command center first is such a common build here.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a big 4-player map. It's difficult to scout fast for the Protoss player to know where the Terran is. And the natural's a lot easier to defend on this. It's not very big. It's, you know, one bunker. It's difficult for a Protoss player to attack up a ramp. So command center first is very, very popular. But does Zest just go for Nexus first? Would Maru ever 2 barracks himself, you know, twice in a row?
It's tricky on this map as well, though.
Yeah, look, Zest is going to go Nexus first.
Yep.
So he's kind of understanding that this is a popular map for command center first. Doesn't want to try to risk it with a Dia build like 10 gateway, and says, you know what, I'll just go Nexus first myself.
Yep, works out all right for him. And, well, we had Maru opening up with a very economical placement on that supply depot. Get that SCV straight back to the mineral line, and then just send the SCV out for that command center. So, wow, actually, Zest. I'm surprised at the timing of the gateway, but it's a very economically timed gateway, right? Like, he gets some probes. Gateway's like this compensatory move just in case his opponent was throwing anything at him too crazy, but oh well.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be Nexus first, but he's just, as you said, put the gateway down much later, but you can see the Nexus is incredibly fast. It's like before the gateway finishes, and it's just a very macro-focused opening. And he is going to scout his opponent first, in first place. That means he can harass a little bit now. I wonder if Maru was to scout his opponent's build, if he was map hacking, I'm pretty sure we'd see 3 command centers really fast.
Yeah.
But he's not scouting, and I don't think he will scout because his probe's going to harass him for a long time. So this is kind of good for Zest.
Maru is going to be spotted, and he hasn't actually... Oh, he barely saw the probe? Yeah, he did. So he now obviously knows what's going on in terms of a little bit of harassment and poking, but... Behind this, looks like we're just going to go into a standard game. And
we almost got the SCV there.
Ooh.
The amount of times I've lost an SCV in this position is so frustrating.
It's tough to keep it alive sometimes. It's like sometimes you see someone send down just one SCV to deal with it, and you're like, no, you actually need to send 2, otherwise that SCV is going to die, guys.
Wonder what Zest's going to do from this position, though. I mean, Maru's scouting in the wrong direction, too. So everything's going in his way so far when it comes to these small little things.
And we'll spot that bunker. We have Maru scouting in the wrong direction here. Now, I'm curious to see if Maru actually, if this game fully evolves out, like, if he goes for as many medevacs as he did last game. Because again, I think that, you know, the kind of containment factor that we saw from Maru there against that higher Colossus count was fantastic from Maru. And he really made it work without actually having those earlier Vikings to deal with that. If you give any other Protoss player, you know, like 3 Colossi, you know, just on the ladder, and you're the Terran and you don't have any Vikings, generally that Protoss player is just going to walk over the map and just kill you. But Maru did a great job of being able to contain.
He's gone for 3 command centers anyway here, completely blind. This is very, very greedy. I mean, just imagine if the same gateway attack was coming
just
from game number 1. He's, pretty much dead. So it's a big gamble here. Big gamble. But in the regards of how this is shaping up against what his opponent's doing, it works. Like, the Robo and Forges is going to be a longer game. Zest is going to play this out, kind of similar to the previous one in the mid stages of it. Just Colossus play, he's going to get that armor down. The Stalker's going to deny the Scout here, and I think this may force a scan. He's got enough energy inside the main base, and you have to be freaking out right now. And he drops both mules. That's so risky. This is so risky. He has no idea what's going on. He's praying and hoping that he's not getting attacked. You look at the Marine on the right-hand side. He's like, scan, please, 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 no pylon. Please, 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 no pylon. And there's actually like nothing he could do if there was one either. This is very risky for Maru.
But at the same time, I've got to commend the way in which Zest positioned that Stalker, realizing that the SCV that was moving out never came in on the right-hand side at a particular time that would signify that he was scouting the short way. You know, just positioning that Stalker just to greet it over on the left was really nice from him, and leaving Maru in the dark with the scan.
Yeah, he's seen what he's going up against, and he actually sees, oh, this is great. This is actually really good.
Yeah.
It's not an attack. It's regular play. He's going to go to Colossus most likely here. 3 gateways, or the 2 being added on to join the first one. We're going up to 3. This is fine. This will make him feel a lot more comfortable.
Oh, yeah. And Maru, when he's comfortable, well, we'll see what he's going to be able to get done here.
And the Observer saw the 3 command centers as well. So
oh, nice.
He throws down the 3rd Nexus in retaliation. Like, this is obviously, in a normal game, at 7:50 or 7:45, a very early 3rd Nexus, but he knows that with a 3rd command center, Stim's late, Medivacs are going to be later, and he knows that he's fine to get this 3rd Nexus down.
Yeah, and that's very, very obvious here in the timing of the factory, which the Observer's just about to see. So he's going to have full confirmation as to what's going on from his opponent. Double upgrades are now on the way for Maru as well. So big greed. Not as much greed as, you know, possibly could be in terms of the engineering base, but obviously he wanted to be very, very safe about dealing with any kind of earlier gateway pressure.
Yeah, I mean, this is looking pretty good here. We're actually not going to see too much focus on Colossus. He's got the Twilight Council down immediately. You're probably just going to see him go over to Templar quite fast. I mean, he didn't research Thermal Lance. Okay, so he's got 1 Colossus on the way. I wonder if he does get Thermal Lance here. I think that he might just... I mean, the timing of it is you usually like to get the +1 attack before you get the Twilight Council. But with the Twilight Council so fast here, he's going to get the +1 attack. But I really think he's going to use that for... Blink? Does he get Templar down, though?
Blink would be nice, I think.
Yeah, Blink's going to be nice. I mean, on 3 Nexus like this. But does he go over fast to the Templar? He's not getting Thermal Lance still, so I think that's maybe what he's up to.
Saving a little bit of gas for him, maybe, which could work out quite nicely. But once again, we've seen Zest here build that perimeter of observers that's just going to keep him so in the know if any attack's going to go down that left-hand side. And he has a pylon up to the north as well, just to spot any drops that would go down there. So really great setup here by Zest. And Maru, don't really think he can do anything to punish it. He doesn't know that the 3rd base is down just yet.
Yeah, he doesn't know. He's maybe expecting it, though, because, I mean, he's seen the observers see that he has 3 command centers.
And he's lifted off as well, so he's going to the 3rd as well.
And he's not going for the Templar Archives. He just is going for Colossus. His Thermal Lance now has begun too.
All right, cool play here from Zest. But likewise, Maru's going to play into the later stages as well. He's getting his
looking to really power through, like really strong mechanically plays what Maru's looking to do here. Double engineering base so early on. He's going to have 2-2 really fast in this game, and he's just going to look to tear his opponent apart. Blink's going to be very useful in trying to stop that.
And again, though, these observers are going to be able to spot any army movement to that 3rd base. So it's going to be a little bit harder for Maru to get something done as long as Zest's on his toes. And with Blink, he should be on his toes. He has all the tools available to him to shut down these drops if they come along.
Yeah, 1-1 versus 1-1 in terms of upgrades. And I'd like to say that the economy is in favor right now of Zest, who much faster 3rd base, saturated in the gases. It's going to help him quite a lot here. But Maru does have a very, very strong army. Very good setup. Double Medivacs now going towards the natural. There is a cannon. Not too many other units around, though. Okay, Stalker's not too far. And these Medivacs may skip the Observer.
But not the pylon.
But not the pylon.
No. unless for some reason he were to, well, he's just going to have to drop and kill the pylon here. So that's not the most amazing pickup there for Maru. He'd much rather be in that mineral line doing damage. But, you know, getting rid of that, leaves, and then later on tries to go in once again. Very important. And he's even been spotted at the front here. So Zest is well aware of his opponent's army movements. These double clumps of army just trying to find that pincer maneuver.
And just like any other Terran versus Protoss, the goal for the Protoss at this moment is not to take damage. And Maru is going to be looking to deal that out. He has quite a few units on the natural here, or around this natural area. There's also those double drops within the observer range. Oh no, just slightly outside of it on the left.
And he's mixing in the Immortals again. So his ground army will pack a very, very strong hammer blow to this bio army if he's not careful, depending on what we're seeing in terms of the army composition. It looks like he tries to drop the third base, but instantaneously Zealot Warpins, the Observer just keeping an eye on it. Zest right now is pretty much impenetrable, apart from at the natural.
Yeah, the one area.
Oh. He lost the Templar Archives. He forced the cancellation. That's really annoying. Getting a gas and maybe a few probes, but that's about it.
Drop on the third as well. Maru is looking to do this, to try to break through. Simulator and canceling Templar Archives, not exactly ideal at this point. And he's going to have to start a Ghost Academy soon. He's going to have to be fighting against the Templar soon. Yep. So far, pretty good defense from Zest, though. Really, really good. This is a pretty solid game here. But now with 2-2 about to complete, and there's a lot of Vikings, I think, by now. Okay, only 4, though. Only 4. Or, okay, excuse me, 7 now.
Jumps up quite dramatically.
Up. But 3 Colossus.
Yeah, that's a lot of firepower.
Yeah, it's a very strong army that... oh, God, the SCVs as well.
Hello, hello.
This is a very, very strong army that Maru has. No Storm. Not that much splash damage. He needs to keep these Colossus alive. Stalkers have to focus on the Vikings. They have to.
And this area is quite open here, so if Maru spreads himself wisely, then he could do quite a bit of damage himself, though. The Vikings are taking a lot of damage. Zest was focusing quite well on them.
The Colossus are going to survive.
Yeah, they're going to end up surviving. And this is pretty darn good for him. He needs to somehow separate a few of these units off to try and catch them. But at the same time, the ground army, regardless, is melting. Because, again, Maru had a fantastic position to spread himself with a great concave. The last Colossus ends up falling. Zealots are being warped in behind this army. But it doesn't matter. Yeah. Maru has too much bio.
Wow, these upgrades. You know, 2-2 right there. Just showed the units didn't die.
GG.
Wow, look at that. Look, Maru just bossing it up. Loses the first game, then wins 2 in a row. And that was a very strong game from Maru there. I really thought the Colossus would survive long enough. Well, they did, but didn't deal enough damage out. They remember they only had +1 attack. Yeah. Not a lot of damage. And excellent attack there. No Templar Archives. GG.
Yeah, very well done by Maru.
Nice.
And now he moves on through the upper bracket. Let's just refresh the bracket and give you some updates here. Hydra beat Dia 2-0. I wonder if that was because of a bye.
I think so, because I mean he wasn't there when we tried to cast him.
Yeah. So we're assuming that was a bye.
I'll have a look actually. I'll see if I can have a look in his.
All right. And then meanwhile we had Supernova winning 2-0 against Oz. Revival beat Coca 2-0, and Hero beat Su 2-0. So technically it will be Hero, CJ Entis' Hero versus Maru. In that quarterfinals in the upper bracket. We're not sure which game we're going to jump into just yet. We're going to take...
Dia was there, by the way.
He was here?
Hydra beat Dia 2-0.
Wow.
But the thing is as well, I mean, it depends if it's casted because Dia has to play, or will play against a lot of good Zergs this weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, depends on how the run goes, right?
That's true.
So he might have tried to hide some stuff. He faces against maybe, if Jadong goes through, it's Jadong second, I think.
Amusingly,
but I don't know if he wants to hide. Would he hide stuff? His style isn't to hide things, though. His style's so solid, it's not really...
But in the lower bracket now, it's Dia versus Biol, of all people.
Well, he's going to have to just pull it out now. There's no hiding anything. I mean, BlizzCon's around the corner, which is definitely going to... Maybe some of these players want to save some things for that, but if you're in the lower bracket and you're trying to qualify for this, you have to just bring out all the stops.
Yeah, you do. All right, guys. Well, we are going to go to a short commercial break, and then when we are back, we're going to have more Intel Extreme Masters Career and Taiwanese qualifiers action for you here for the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore.